Hey there, welcome to day 3 of 21 Days of Presence. I'm Adrienne Elise. Well, early this morning in the US time zones, we had this Gemini new moon. And so we're still in the energy of the new moon lasts like the 24 hours leading up and about 24 hours or so after. And this is an energy of always a new start. It's a new beginning of a new cycle of the month. And so we're moving into new territory. In Gemini, it's about a new conceptual reality and getting a grip, right? And so today there's an energy of taking this breath of this new moon and finding peace in the chaos of our lives, because we have some busy astrology coming up, a really intense energy leading up to this solstice. That's Friday the 21st. And we also have just epic astrology happening. But right now we're having a little breather, a little break, a little expansion, a little pulling into the bigger picture. And so this piece, claiming this piece for just a few minutes of the day, whenever you can, over these next couple of days is going to be very, very helpful, because we're going to start moving back into the transit type energies on Friday, Saturday, later this weekend, and into that busyness. And so right now we're going to just kind of focus on claiming this piece in order to hold space for this epic transition that we're in. And so we have this backdrop that we're being called into, this expansiveness that has to do with these Neptune transits, Jupiter square Neptune, Saturn sextile Neptune. And it's a really interesting energy because, like I said, these are the main astrological configurations of 2019, and they're happening 3 times each throughout the year, and they're happening in June exactly together. And so there's messages for us, right? This is the crux of it. This is the meaning, the purpose of 2019 is coming to light. And it's the universe is saying, pay attention. You know, when things line up like this, it's saying, pay attention. This is powerful. And to have Jupiter, you know, these are all the larger planets, a little slower moving planets. And so Jupiter's in square to Neptune, Saturn is in sextile. So it's a really interesting combination because the square has tension to it. Even though Jupiter, even the tension aspects with Jupiter bring expansion, can bring luck and money. They can also bring frustration. But for the most part, Jupiter transits are positive. But there is this kind of frustration at not being able to get on our path, not being able to find that zest, this creative force that we know is available to us. And so then we're looking at these delusions that are in the way of us claiming this power, our creative power in this world. So there's tension there. And then we've got the sextile, which is like creative solutions, jimmying the lock, being like, okay, a little this way, a little that way, we can work this out. And that has to do with our manifested world of Saturn, the laws, the rules, and the hard work, the duty, the dharma. And then Neptune is the dreams. And so we are trying to, like I talked about yesterday, bring into focus and into communication these energies of the bigger, wider picture, the backdrop of what's maybe happening behind the scenes and happening in the backdrop, and then bring this experience of spiritual connection into our everyday awareness. And so this is the energy of this new moon time. And, you know, for the next few days, just kind of suspended in that bigger picture, extracted out to this timeless place. And this, taking advantage of this, as much as it's weird and uncomfortable, and it's also a very busy month for everybody, it feels like. So it's counterintuitive right now to take a lot of time to meditate. And yet that is what we need to prepare for these next couple of weeks of powerful, energetic shifting. And the universe is saying, hey, are you on board with this? Are you paying attention? And we talked about this kind of a split in consciousness where a lot of people are going deeper into sleep as far as their spiritual awareness, and a lot of people who can no longer deny that they have that true spiritual path within them. And the esoteric, fundamentally challenging low feelings and depression that comes when we're not using that creative energy, when we don't have access to that zest for life. And so it's coming up huge, and it's a time to just really pay attention and be present and say yes to this experience, right? We're being asked to come to the planet, to arrive here. Uranus and Taurus, bringing in these higher vibrational frequencies into the manifested earth realm. And that's exactly a metaphor for these light worker starseed souls that are trying to incarnate fully and completely here, bringing your light. But the problem is that your light, your passion, your healing, your zest, your creativity wasn't always welcome in the past, to the point where you were in physical danger, right? And so you've gotten some programming that says it's not safe for you on the earth. You're not welcome here on the planet. And that's the furthest thing from the truth, because you have worked for lifetimes, evolutions, thousands and thousands of lifetimes, and whole evolutionary, you've gone through spiritual ascension probably, more than once, multiple times. And you've gone through all of this to be a part of this experience, going through spiritual ascension in a body with your conscious awareness. It's quite amazing. And there's those of us here that are holding space for this experience with our consciousness, so that it gives this feeling of being separated from other people that are not on the path, and feeling very lonely. And yet that's exactly, that loneliness actually validates your purpose here, to be present and be aware of what's happening. That's kind of the message that I'm getting right now. This Gemini manifested reality mind, conceptual everyday, joining with a big, expansive, bigger picture and trying to assimilate those. Everything is saying, hey, you've been waiting for this time for a long time, and it's now happening. So let's pay attention. Let's connect with each other. Let's be present in this. And right now we have this moment of expansive peace available that can really serve us as we move forward in these next weeks. But I am feeling this energy of like, are you on the board? Are you willing to commit to this life and be here? Because a lot of indigo souls and starseed light worker souls feel like, what am I doing on this planet? Like this, who are these people? And how did I get here? And will you take me home? But the thing is that by coming here, and the reason why you even made it here as a higher dimensional being into manifest in this world is because you really, really, really wanted to be here. And this is so sad that this zest for this experience and the truth of this experience and the joy of this experience has been cut off from us. And then we're just wandering around aimlessly trying to figure out what to do with our time and energy, as far as besides all of the busy things of making it through this physical reality, and feeling just kind of lost. And but the thing is that when you came here in these, so part of the deal with the type of souls that I'm talking about have incarnated into our history at the darkest times, right? Trying to bring the light, trying to hold the space. And so there's these traumas, but what also happened in those times is that you came in and maybe created, most likely, karma with lower evolved beings. And now you're stuck in these karmic cycles playing out again and again and again. And this is the frustration, right? And this is what makes it feel like there's all of these forces working against us. It's this karmic trap, the wheel of samsara. And it's time to get off the wheel, right? And allow ourselves to get back to the truth of who we are, the natural joy of existence, and the natural joy of living a meaningful life. So in order to complete our earth and try to move, like get off of, out of this samsara, we have to first arrive here, right? And we have to be present and we have to commit. Our life force isn't available to us if we don't want to be here. And so if you want to have these creative forces available, if you want to have this life force available to you that can heal your body magically and in miracles, then you've got to commit to this process. And that creates a big shift for people. It's like, oh, okay, what if instead of this is being a torture chamber, because once you wake up to, all of this prison planet, and it's hard to, you want to forget, you want to unlearn the truth, you want to just go wish you could be like everybody else and just go along and live your life and accumulate items and completely materialistic existence. And but you can't. And this is actually the cool thing about the waking up process that's happening right now, is that you are waking up and it's nearly impossible to go back to sleep. And that's why the forces right now, the negative forces, the control energies are working 110%. They're fully online with all of their mechanisms to keep us from this natural joy and from this commitment to this experience, and brainwashed to think that there is no spiritual purpose and there's nothing here besides the physical. And so it's our time to arrive and take a hold. And by making that commitment to yourself and to this experience and to your higher self, right? This trust of some other part of you that knows what's going on, then, this is where we get caught up in our ego, because our ego personality construct, which is not who we are, but, it's looking constantly for that outside validation in this world. And, we have to find this, when we're working out of our ego personality construct, we're always going to be disappointed with what's happening in our life. It's never going to be what we want. Our little brain thinks that it knows, right? And we've got to come back into this trust and connection to our higher self. And, along with that comes, parallel is this connection to our soul group, because we're working together on these other levels, but most of the soul groups are not connected in the physical 3D world. But the way you connect with your soul group is through your higher self. Our higher selves are hanging out, partying, and they're like, yeah, this is amazing. This is so cool. Maybe they'll wake up tomorrow, and we're like, I'm stuck in this, what our mind thinks it should be and why it's not what we want it. And all this psychological garbage coming to the surface that has been programmed into our reality from these past life experiences. And now, so when we get into this control energy and we get into that ego place, and we think part of the energy that comes is that we personally, this little one person, needs to fix everything, right? And we can't do it. Especially with our ego brain, we got to use our higher consciousness and our highest self to do that. And actually, everything we want to fix in the world, this is a really, it's not a comfortable one. It's a hard one for me. It's like you continue to remind myself. And but whatever we want to fix out there in the world, we fix it from here. And it's a projection of something within that we can adjust. And that's what we're going to do right here, right now. We're going to claim peace in the chaos, and take advantage of this breath, this new moon energy, this expansive perspective that's available. And it's not just that, this is the mystical, magical experience of this new moon. It's not just that expansive, out of time thing, because Mercury very much is regular, everyday time and linear reality too. So we're trying to join these, right? We're like, hey, lower ego personality construct, like this reality, like we got to get in line with what's really happening, and stop the bullshit. So that means all of these patterns that are keeping us chained to that personality, to these attachments, to the way we think it should be, that's all coming up for review. And it doesn't feel good when it's happening, but it's all about getting set free to the truth of who you really are, which is outside of that psychological distortion game that has been highly supported by the technological and energetic and poisons of our world, like the control energies are doing everything, like I said, to keep us from waking up to the truth of who we are. And it's just like full force working to keep us from this this awakening, because once you awaken, you can't go back to sleep. And that's the biggest threat. Truth and conscious awareness and joy is the biggest threat, because we're in there when we're in the truth of who we are, in this lightness of our being, our natural joy, then we're not feeding that monster in the psychological paradigm and the framework of this mechanical created reality. We're creating our own reality, and that is so much more true and so much more powerful. But we have to use our will in alignment with our higher self and claim, acknowledge, practice this piece. So let's do that together right now. So go ahead and just feel yourself arrive right here in this moment. Taking a few deep breaths. And just with your exhale, putting that root system down into Mother Earth. This is so cool because this is the third time I've done the 21 days of presence, and it's really neat to see the people gradually, as the people come and get on board, and then this permission and ability to go right into a grounded place and a communion with Mother Earth just gets stronger and stronger. Like we're creating a field for this truth and a space in our lives and in our soul group, in our collective consciousness for truth. And it gets stronger and stronger each day and more confident. And it's really beautiful. And then it's available for us in an instant when shit gets weird in our life. So go ahead and just sinking in to this now moment. So many changes happening behind the scenes. Maybe that's this message with the big backdrop energy going on. We are getting a scene change in our world, and yet our physical reality hasn't shown those changes yet. But we can feel it happening. And the more sensitive of a soul you are, the more aware soul, the more you feel this happening. And yet the less validation we find in our everyday life for what's really going on. And so it feels utterly confusing. And it can feel painful as these things, as our paradigms begin to break down, our false paradigms. And so let's just go ahead and claim this moment of peace and inviting communication with Mother Earth, saying hello, just putting down that root system, and see what you get back. I saw a picture of like a blooming garden, maybe somebody with a time lapse camera, right? And garden just went, and just bloomed. And that is what happens when we come into actual true, know we deserve it, and allow for ourselves to connect to our planet, to our mother, a representation of the great mother and the divine feminine of the universe right here under our feet. And so just go ahead and sinking in, coming into this now moment. And just sinking deeper and deeper into this communication with each breath. There's lots of interference energy saying, oh, no, you don't, and you don't deserve, and that's not okay, and pay attention to me, and distract. And let's just like put all of that aside and, practice this concept of exercising your spiritual will in alignment with your highest self, in alignment with your ideal that you don't even know what it is, most likely, but you still can feel that energy and say, this is my time. I'm taking a couple of minutes here. And you guys, all of this energy, whatever it is, other people's energy, lots of other people's energy, lots of programming, lots of people saying, wait, if you set yourself free, what does that mean for me? Are you going to bring me with you? And loyalty contracts. And it's all coming up right now. And it's like, gimme, gimme, gimme. I want you, a piece of you. But you know what? That is validating the power of consciousness that's available directly inside of you. And it's yours to have. And a lot of us feel like we've been programmed to think we don't even deserve it, like it's not even ours. We go to try to claim it back, and we come up with all of this tentacle-like programming and ancestral belief systems. And so we're just going to set all of that aside, because it'll be there. You can always pick it back up, but just use your spiritual will in alignment with your ideal. And maybe there's a picture that comes for that. I saw a beautiful rainbow, like a rainbow bridge of just kind of allowing yourself to step out of the confines of this reality and connect through that rainbow bridge to your higher self, highest self. And there's also an energy of moving up in like climbing a mountain, going up to a high place to kind of get above all of the noise. And just, you don't have to make a deal forever with these energies and with these contracts, just for 5 minutes, and just set them all aside and just allow yourself to move along that rainbow bridge up to the top of the mountain, whatever imagery comes for you right now. And go ahead and find yourself a comfortable place and rest. And recognize that the further up you get, the smaller the problems are and the less significant they are in this broader perspective. And so you can just let that all go on. You don't have to solve and get rid of everything in order to be able to come into meditative peace. You just have to decide and claim this moment. And when we do it together, there's way more power to it and way more presence available in our collective consciousness, in our soul groups. And so let's just go ahead and travel to this place, your sacred space, high above all your cares and worries, but still connected to the earth. And just paying attention to that root chakra at the base of your spine. This is where we have a lot of this family ancestral programming. And it can interfere with our ability to communicate and connect with Mother Earth and be present in the moment, our permission for peace. And so go ahead and just see that root system going down through all of the layers, like the lotus flower in the water, the roots going through all of the muck to get to the earth. And then they're unaffected by the muck. If anything, they can extract the nutrients that they need from the muck, but not get lost in the muck. And just feel yourself floating there in this lotus flower, held and in connection with Mother Earth. And just taking a few deep breaths, enjoying this peace. What if the divine feminine, your highest self, the great mother, and earth are trying to hand you this peace? It's being offered to you. as a gift. Can you let yourself receive this moment of peace? Just sinking deeper and deeper into that root system, yet floating above all of the muck. And go ahead, and I'm getting a message to a beautiful picture of being able to look down at yourself and see who you are without all of that muck. Just a reset, right? What's your essential self? And just notice what you notice. Receive any images, messages, information, pictures. Who are you without the garb of this world? Along with this peace and what supports the peace is your allowing yourself to reconnect to this innocence of your soul. Clean and clear. Yes, you've gone through all kinds of things, traumas, experiences, but they don't define you. So it's just setting it all aside to be present in this moment with your essential self. Notice that in this place, you can't even talk about deserving or not deserving, because you are. The I am existence. And by coming into this peace, automatically connect to that life force energy available. Permission for peace is permission for the truth of who you are, for joy, for that bigger picture perspective. What if all we really have in this world, even though we've accumulated all these things and we have all of these needs in this physical world, but what if all we are, everything we could ever access that we really need, is in the present moment? The only time we actually really exist is when we can come in to this awareness, this observation of our essential self, our bigger self, releasing the confines of our programmed personality construct. This is all there is. And when you have this, you have everything. There's nothing out there that can give you this. There's nothing out there that can prevent you from this. Peace, presence, existence. Maybe that's the trick. We've been trying to run around and take care of our existence, and we've forgotten to just exist. And then perhaps life can take care of life. Just enjoy. Everything's handled in this now moment, just for right here, right now. There's nothing you need to do, to change, to fix, to heal. Just allow. And with your breath, imagine growing this peace and presence, sharing it with an energetic wave around the whole planet, with your whole soul groups, all of your soul groups, and the collective consciousness. This is who we are. Just enjoying this peace, this permission for peace, this presence for as long as you'd like, bringing it into your everyday life as much as possible, but knowing that you can find this, come back here whenever you need. Now that you know it's here, just taking a few deep breaths, enjoying this peace, and gradually completing your meditation. Feeling your soul group coming into this peace and amplifying this permission for peace. And I'm feeling a deep resolve and commitment to truly living and existing, which means from the present moment. And just taking your time, staying here as long as you'd like, but when you're ready, go ahead and complete your meditation. Well, thanks so much for joining me for 21 days, day 3 of 21 days of presence. Very powerful energy around claiming our right and our permission to exist, right? Maybe we think of existence like this Chiron and Aries energy, the right to be who we really are, the right to express ourselves in the way we'd like to express ourselves. But maybe we need to start with first existing, which means coming into this connection with this I am presence that's available, being offered to us in this huge way right now with this North Node in Cancer and this great mother energy descending on the planet, saying, here you go, it's right here. Can you receive it? Can you allow yourself to come into this peace and presence with Mother Earth, your soul group, your highest self, and kind of get settled for this journey, this exciting journey ahead. So thank you so much for joining me. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow for day 4 of 21 days of presence. Until then, I'm Adrienne Elise. Namaste.